Hey there and welcome to another episode of Seenu. It's been 2 weeks since my last episode, but we are back on a regular schedule. And on this video, we're going to be working on a low-income neighborhood, as I'm sure you can guess from the title and the thumbnail. But at the same time, we're going to be working on fixing an issue that has recently come up, which is garbage collection. Apparently, we don't have enough of that. This, what you see on the screen right now, is the only incinerator and landfill that we have, which is obviously not enough. But I'll get into the details of that in just a second. I do want to point out that you might want to stick around until the end of this episode because there's going to be a bit of a big announcement. Let's just say for now that the next episode of Seenu won't be happening on my channel. It won't be happening on my Spanish channel either. So if you want to learn more, just sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the episode, and we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. I also want to point out a couple things that I have written down on my little notepad. First of all, I want to give a quick shout out to Skibbeth, who's helped me quite a bit in relation to the previous episode of Seenu, the cinematic only episode. He suggested a few mods and techniques that I could use to, get like a really smooth experience, I guess, video experience at least. He's doing some really interesting Cities Skylines series, very, very detailed. So I highly recommend you check out his channel. I'm going to include the link in the description, and it's probably popping up on the top right corner of your screen right now. Also, during this time off that I took, we reached 100,000 subscribers, and I've been getting a lot of congratulatory messages, so thanks everyone for that. I'm not huge into celebrating these kinds of milestones, don't expect any like weird special videos or anything like that, but I do want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's been around since the very beginning, almost exactly 4 years ago. That's when the channel started, according to Social Blade, I guess, but and those of you who just subscribed like seconds ago, welcome. Hopefully we can grow the community and just share this craziness that we're doing here with not only with Cities Skylines but also all these other sandbox / created games with a lot more people. And talking about my time off, I'm gonna keep this short because I know there's a large percentage of you who don't watch my other series, but I did get a lot of footage for my On the Road series as I was driving around at the United Kingdom. Basically, I've been to England mostly and Scotland. I got almost 300 gigs worth of footage that I still have to sort out. I don't know exactly how to package those into multiple videos, but I'm going to take some time to do that right. I was reviewing the footage. There's a little bit of that I don't think I can use. It didn't come out great. That is just what happens when you're in a rental car and you don't have control over all of the variables. But it's coming. It's coming. There's going to be a lot of those videos, hopefully, that I'm going to be able to make. And I think that's pretty much with the announcements. Let's just get right into the game and talk about what's going on the screen right now. So as you can see, we're working on a bit of a larger incineration plant. I try to keep, the sort of the profile of this plant somewhat, small and short. We obviously have a lot of garbage issues. The population has risen tremendously ever since I popped down that first landfill and, burning garbage plant thing. So you can see the population right now is sitting at 31,000, but it's going to grow even more at the end of this episode once I'm done with, that low-income neighborhood, which, by the way, is not just going to be the one low-income neighborhood. There's going to be a whole bunch of other neighborhoods being built around then, and that's obviously going to increase the population as well. But I did want to play with, having a bit of a mix between, the tar-type pavement and concrete-type pavement. And I'm probably going to be playing with this a little bit more. I feel like I still haven't quite mastered it. I mean, to be honest, I haven't mastered anything at all. I feel like I'm getting good at certain things, but this, you oftentimes when you look at, parking lots and like large concrete paved areas, you do see segments of that are not 100% concrete or 100% just regular tar-based pavement. And you do see this like geometric shapes, like cuts in the different materials, and they kind of blend in certain ways. This what I'm working on right now is sort of a parking bay for all these garbage trucks that are coming into this plant. By the way, the garbage trucks that I'm going to be using are like really simple wooden ones. It's not going to be like, you know, a crazy, basically not like the vanilla ones with the thing that pulls the trash cans on the top and all that. You know what I'm talking about. But I was trying to, you know, figure out a way of using this combination of materials in a way that's somewhat seamless. Again, I'm using those metal drains as a bit of a transition between the different materials. And of course, the concrete expansion joints, pretty much my favorite decal forever. Well, not forever, but recently you've probably seen me use these a lot. You know, trying to make this whole area look like one cohesive thing, it's not that challenging. We do have quite a bit of materials to work with. You know, those containers from the recycling plant, there's a couple other containers. You can see them in the back over there on the screen. They're the same shade of green, and they're not the Colossal Systems branded ones, but they do, you know, serve pretty well when it comes to, you know, adding randomness to the different things. They look like they belong together. And I thought that was a perfect fit. So even though containers don't necessarily make 100% sense there, I just figured that they were a nice addition, and they obviously added a ton of detail. Obviously, in between cuts, I added just segments of patch asphalt. You can see it there on the screen, even though it's going rather fast. I didn't spend a whole lot of time, at least on camera, just showing these concrete roads that we've been working on recently, because, you know, that's the main reason we've been working on that recently, so I don't want to like repeat myself over and over again. Definitely adding manholes helps a lot, breaking, you know, the monotony of the design, just making everything look a little bit more detailed. It's just such a simple thing that makes a huge difference. But I'm sorry to say that even that ginormous incineration plant is not enough for the demand for garbage collection that we have in this project. So what I'm probably going to do about that is just hide a whole bunch of smaller incineration plants, specifically the biogas facility, which is like a tank. I think it's made by Avani. It's probably one of our first assets, actually. And it's definitely, you know, a smaller profile that it won't stand out all that much. And I'm hoping to sort of hide that in between the trees, or kind of like mix it up so that it looks like a big factory. And, you know, I need to figure that out. But we're definitely going to need a lot more garbage collection than this plant. And obviously doing another massive plant like this won't make all that much sense. In fact, another big issue that we have is that the sewage treatment plants are really lacking. I had to reopen my backup city just to be able to hide a whole bunch of, well, not a whole bunch, but like 2, you know, sewage treatment plants, because, well, the demand for sewage was pretty high again. So I still haven't figured that out, especially because there are not that many large assets that deal with sewage. Sorry, there are not that many small assets that deal with sewage that I can easily hide between things. I guess I'm going to end up resourcing to just hiding them under the trees and just calling it a day. I know it's kind of like not great, but it's also like a game limitation. You know, in real life, this island wouldn't need this humongous incineration plant. It would deal with garbage in a much more efficient way. I did take some time to add a few policies, you know, like add the recycling and all those kinds of things, so that maybe the garbage was, or at least the garbage production was somewhat reduced, but I don't think that did all that much, unfortunately. So, you know, I did my best on that regard, but we'll have to deal with that, and eventually we'll just have to sort of hack the game in a way that just hide things under the trees in like a forested area where no one will notice, and just call it a day. I hate to do that. I really do. I try to like, make the game look as as real as possible and have it be operational. I really don't want to have garbage trucks coming out of the forest like just suddenly, but sometimes you just have no choice. The game is not super realistic in that regard. And as far as I know, there are not that many mods that just like turn off garbage and things like that. Because I mean, if that was a thing, I could try that. In fact, I haven't checked this Team Workshop in a while. Let me know if there is such a mod now, because last time I checked, there wasn't. But in any case, I'm starting here the work on this low-income housing. I feel like the episode is actually going on really fast, and I'm talking about things that are long gone from the screen. This, by the way, is one of many settlements that I'm going to be working on. And I call them settlements because they're kind of like somewhat fenced out. I imagine that this was like an empty lot that, somewhat owned by the government or something like that. That was, people started moving in when there were like displaced, let's just say, by climate change, because that seems accurate for this type of project. But my thought process behind this is to, this is obviously not 100% planned. Like, people started building houses on top of each other, and that's why you get all this like squiggly roads kind of coming in. In fact, I wanted to sort of keep these roads like very, very narrow, but not so narrow that a car couldn't drive through them. And the best way I found to sort of make that a reality is to use these clusters of lawn grasses just on the edges of the road. It does make things look really, really narrow, but not so narrow that a car can pass by. Of course, adding those larger decals there, helps sell the deal even further. I didn't want to use the same decals that I'm using for the dirt roads. I figured that would have been too much, especially because maybe there's like less car traffic on the inner roads of these settlements, but at the same time, you want everything to sort of blend in to some degree. In fact, I'm using this sort of design here with the multiple fences of different kinds, just mixing them up a little bit. It adds a ton of detail, and you're gonna see that even more when I start working on the neighborhood that will be on the right of the screen right now. There will be literally this concrete wall and then like a mini luxury mansion right next to it. That seems to happen quite a bit in real life. It's really interesting to see that huge, super harsh contrast between low income and like ultra rich people. But the whole point of this neighborhood, and this is something that I was thinking right way after I stopped recording this, which is that it would be interesting to sort of add another one of the, I don't know if you remember a couple episodes ago, I was working on a housing project. Those buildings that were a bit of a construction site, those were supposedly built by the government to help people in conditions like this. And I was thinking that it would have been a good idea to add a second one of those right next to this one that's maybe also under construction, so that all these people can move in to much better housing conditions. And, that seems like an interesting idea. I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to orchestrate all that, but I think I'm going to tackle that in probably a couple episodes. And this is what I meant before by just mixing up all kinds of different fences, with some degree of cohesiveness in between the different areas, but obviously this one that I'm working on right here is going to be a bit of a luxury mini mansion with a pool and everything. But before we get into all those details that are coming in just a couple of seconds, I did want to get pretty much most of the fences in place, get the houses in place, just all the big picture stuff first. I mentioned this before. You want to add all these like finer details before you add the trees and the bushes and things like that, because those hide a lot. And then if you go into the first person mode and you want to see things, you'll realize that nothing on that level is actually detailed. So if you're aiming for that, or at least that amount of decoration, definitely try not to add trees at the very beginning. Do the bigger things first, and then like outing houses and the fences, the most iconic things that you will see for the most part. And then you go crazy with the vegetation. One thing that I wanted to talk about, it's a pretty recurring comment. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the episode, but two things actually. Thing number one is the bus routes. I've been getting a few comments about how messed up the bus routes are. They're basically like two independent loops that go in one direction, and I know that. I'm not happy about that at all. I just laid down some temporary bus routes because since the city's always evolving, I really didn't want to settle on one bus design because I know that I will have to absolutely get rid of it and create it from scratch. That seems to happen every single time. From the Cedar Valley days, I had to redo the bus system multiple times. So instead of wasting a lot of time doing it like like an okay bus system right now, I'd rather just do a temporary one that kind of serves, the main purpose of the population at the time. And then, after we're pretty much done, at least with the area around here, like once we're pretty much filled out this entire island. Not that I'm going to fill everything out with houses, but as whenever we're happy with the current state of this island, I'm definitely going to start laying down the final bus routes, which will obviously not going to be a one-way loop like the one we have. In fact, we might have multiple bus lines that serve different purposes, but that will be the topic for another episode, maybe even a live stream, who knows. But another thing that I want to talk about, and this has been a really recurrent comment for several episodes now, way more than the bus routes, is the speed limits when it comes to the speed bumps. And I did change it a little bit. You probably won't see all that much on this episode because I don't think I got a lot of cinematics of that. But it is definitely a good suggestion. I haven't considered that until I started seeing the comments. And I always forget after seeing the comments, but this time I remembered and I did change a couple, and it definitely looks much more realistic. What I'm talking about is cars driving super fast on one of the main roads and then reaching those pedestrian crossings with speed bumps, and then just flying through that, which obviously doesn't look super realistic in real life. It would just destroy your car if you did that. I do still think that those speed bumps are not the super harsh ones. They're like the ones that you can actually take on with a little bit of speed, but you'll obviously slow down. And what I'm going to be doing is what I already did, and there's still a few of those that need to be adjusted to, is basically use traffic precedent to create a segment of road that it's like, I don't know, 10 to 30 miles or kilometers, I think, an hour. So the cars will slow down once they reach the area. And those few things I want to point out. Going back to the time lapse, as you can see, I'm continuing to detail in the same fashion these settlements, similar to once I was happy with that design that I did first, I kind of like expanded it as if there were multiple empty lots. I don't know if I mentioned this because I did multiple takes of this voiceover, and I might have already mentioned this, so I do apologize for that in advance. But now, as we approach the end of this episode, I do want to, finally disclose what this big announcement is, the thing that I sort of teased at the beginning of the episode. Like I said, the next episode of Seenu, episode 15th, won't be happening on my channel. It won't be happening on my Spanish channel either. It will be happening, and you should probably be sitting down for this because it's going to blow you away. Episode 15 of Seenu will be happening on Flux's channel. That's just the sound of your mind blowing right now. He's going to be doing, that was so dumb, but I'm going to keep it. He's going to be doing a guest episode. For those of you who have no idea who Flux is, we've been doing collabs for forever. Arrowhead Junction being the most recent one. But he's also a Cities Skylines player, and I'm going to include the link in the description so you can go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. And the video will be later added to the regular playlist, so if you're watching this in the future, we'll be like seamlessly playing right after this episode. Episode 16 obviously will return to my channel as is, and nothing happened. This is a one-time thing. And in fact, we've been talking about this for a long time. Me specifically, I've been wanting to have guests do like single episodes for a while, so maybe this is the first one of many. Who knows? I'm not going to tell you exactly what he's going to be working on, but let's just say that he's going to be working on a different area of the map than the one I'm currently working on. So yeah, you need to look forward to that. It's gonna be pretty awesome. And on that bombshell, I think it's time to put an end to this episode. If you enjoyed it, and if you're looking forward to Fluxus, please consider giving this video a like. That's very much appreciated. Also, if you're new to the channel and haven't already, I would like to encourage you to go click the subscribe button. That way you're notified immediately after one of my videos comes out. In the description, you're gonna find all of the links that I mentioned in this episode, as well as a playlist in case you would have missed another. But that's pretty much it for this one. I would like to thank you all for watching and hope to see you in the next one.